Part 94. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 934. The next morning, Subai got up early. As usual, I brushed my teeth and washed my face, then went for morning exercise, and then started eating breakfast. Recently, he has been getting up earlier and earlier, around 7 o'clock in the morning. Like before, I would still sleep until after 9 o'clock, but since there are more and more things in the tribe, Subai naturally got up much earlier, although no one asked him to do so. Of course, no one has the right to ask him to do this. It's perfectly fine to go to bed late if he wants, but he won't sleep long. After all, there are still so many things to do. Woo, everything you ask me to prepare is ready, like the hard-to-find one-horned tortoise shell. Yu Ying placed the dishes and chopsticks while continuing. It happened that someone traded this thing in the big market last night. I was so lucky. The more the fox-eared lady talked, the happier she became. She set up the dishes in the blink of an eye. Today's breakfast is quite rich. In addition to the necessary wheat porridge, there are also some sweet potato cakes, fried eggs, and the like. The sweet potato cakes are fried. Yes, a lot of salt is sprinkled on it. It tastes salty and sweet, and it is delicious. Since the sea fish tribe joined the salt drying queue, a lot of salt will be produced every once in a while. It is deducted from the big market the amount used for trading. Yangon building has a lot left over. It is not used much for daily cooking, even if it is used to make pickled products, it is just more, not less. That's good. Now that you have the materials ready, you can start the ceremony. Subai picked up the glass bowl. Since the tribe's tribal workshop was opened, glass products have been produced one after another. Pots, pans, cups, glass windows, etc. have replaced many wood products and stone products. Of course, not everyone can own this, only the people in Yangon building and the management have it. If other people in the tribe want these, they can only go to the big market to trade them. But the prices for these things are very high. Not everyone can afford it, and people from other tribes are no exception. Although people from other tribes come to exchange, the number of exchanges is not large, and the types of exchanges are relatively simple. That is, the Wanpen Hui More, used to exchange for tribes to replace those wooden bowls and the like. Yes, Yu Ying nodded. Yan Hua and Shalan just returned from training at this moment, and they also washed their hands and joined the breakfast process. More than half an hour later, everyone finished their breakfast and asked someone to bring Madara. At this moment Madara yet is no longer as restrained as yesterday, probably because he spent the whole night in the tribe. And he also came to Yong'an building to meet Subai yesterday, so he is relatively relaxed now. Are you ready? Subai was sitting in his seat. A lot of materials had been placed in front of his seat, which were the materials needed to take out the beast crystal. Ready? Madara became nervous again in an instant. It might be time to take out the ferocious beast crystal. He was a little excited but also a little worried. He was worried about what to do if he couldn't take it out. Subai nodded lightly and said no more. Instead, he lowered his head and started to prepare. The materials were ready. Others did not dare to disturb them and watched carefully with bated breath. This was the first time for them to see this kind of ceremony. In addition to having a sense of sacred solemnity, they were also very curious about how to operate it next. Subai took out a large glass bowl on the table, and then added the powder made from the shell of the one-horned tortoise, the teeth of the trap grass, etc. This large glass bowl was used by him to make various witchcrafts. Dominoes, as well as some experimental utensils, are not only easy to clean but also relatively light. In less than half an hour, a lot of materials were placed in the large glass bowl, with as many as a dozen types of materials. In addition to the fierce, the things on the beast and some plants were inside, and finally they were all mixed into a bowl of dark red and black juice. That's it, there's one last step left. Beads of sweat began to form on Sudbai's forehead. Because every step requires infusion of witchcraft power, and the amount of each step must be very precise. Fortunately, a scale has been made long ago to measure the size and weight of the materials. No problem, the most labor-intensive thing is witchcraft. As a burst of red light, green light, purple light, etc. flashed in the bowl, Sudbai placed the large glass bowl in the middle of the table. Okay, now that's half the battle. Sudbai flicked his wrist. Because every material needs to be injected with a lot of witchcraft power, and the amount of witchcraft power must be controlled well, this is an operation that consumes various functions. Madareno saw Sudbai after sweating a lot. He knew that this was very rare, and he knew it from the series of operations. He immediately bowed deeply and said, "It's really hard work. I don't know what I will do next." "What about operation?" This series of etiquette was something he made up for last night. My Mao has been teaching him for a long time so that he won't make any mistakes the next day. You don't need to do anything, just relax. There may be a little pain next, so you have to endure it. Sudbai recalled that this operation in his memory was also a big project. Clear Madara looked like he was dead. Sudbai took a deep breath. After all, he had just used a lot of witchcraft. He picked up the big glass bowl with one hand, put the other hand into the bowl and started stirring. The contents in the big glass bowl, as the material was stirred, the color began to change, gradually turning into light green, and also glowing faintly. This was because Sudbai himself added some healing techniques to it, in order to allow Madara to slow down some pain. Because when taking out the ferocious beast crystal, Madara will feel very painful. This can be regarded as a guarantee to prevent him from passing out due to excessive pain. As the light green light quietly dissipated, Sudbai's the left hand has been wrapped in this large bowl of material, like a glove. "I'm getting ready to start, and you'd better have the willpower to hold on." Sudbai gives the other party a vaccination first. "I've prepared the witch, please don't worry." At this point, Madara can't do anything. The only thing he can do is to bear it. He didn't know what this operation would do at first, but when he saw Wu's expression and instructions, he understood. Sudbai just nodded lightly, and then stretched out his left hand wrapped in light green material towards the other person's heart. Yuying closed her pink eyes in fear at this moment. It was obvious that this step made people feel goosebumps. Yanhua and Shaylin did not avoid looking at each other, but they still frowned slightly. They were more worried about Sudbai, because they consumed a lot of witchcraft power, and were worried that the witch would be physically unable to bear it. "Because the old witch before was like this, every time I perform witchcraft, I will enter a very exhausted state. Sometimes I have to sleep for several days. This is why witchcraft is very rare and not often performed. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society." Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 935. As Sudbai's left hand slowly approached, everyone was waiting with bated breath. Sudbai's left hand was wrapped with material, and it was like stretching into Madara's chest as if it were stretching into water. The whole process went smoothly without any delay, and there was no obstacle at all when reaching in. Yanhua and others were stunned as they originally thought that the beast crystal would be taken out from outside the body. Unexpectedly, he actually put his hand into the body, and it was still at the heart. Madara was obviously shocked by this scene, but he didn't make any big move. Instead, he stood quietly in place, but he did not feel any pain. "I originally thought it would be very uncomfortable to put my hand into my heart, but I didn't feel anything until my whole palm was put in. Next comes the main event, so you have to be patient." Sudbai gave a warm reminder. Of course he knew that his heart wouldn't hurt when he put it in at first, because it was just the beginning. Yes, which Madara couldn't help but take a deep breath several times. Yanhua was also watching very seriously, and was attracted by the scene without realizing it. The others are the same, they are all curious about what will happen next. And Malekuri, Subai kept muttering spells to himself. As a series of incomprehensible spells sounded, a large amount of cold sweat began to break out on Madara's forehead. His brows were also knitted tightly, and the painful expression on his face was clearly visible. It was obvious that the ceremony had reached its climax. However, he did not make any big moves, but gently gritted his teeth and persisted. "You must hold on, otherwise the entire ceremony will be in vain." Subai also began to sweat on his forehead. He was very worried that the other party would not be able to hold on, otherwise the ceremony that had been prepared for so long would fall short. Yes, Madara nodded heavily. The veins on his forehead and neck began to appear, and a lot of sweat began to appear on his body. His fists were clenched tightly, and his nails almost dug into his flesh. The whole person began to tremble uncontrollably. However, this series of reactions was not very strong, because Madara had been holding back. It takes a while to find the beast crystal, so be patient during this time. Subai warned again, obviously knowing that Madara was the one who suffered for this ritual. Of course, he himself also consumed a lot of witchcraft power, and he would have to rest for 2 days after performing this ritual. I understand that I will not let Wu's efforts go to waste no matter what. Madara clenched his fists tighter. Everything should be fine, right? Yanhua was very worried about Subai. She could see that the other person's forehead was sweating all the time, and the linen clothes on his body were almost soaked with sweat. Nyojiao Niang had never seen Subai like this, let alone her. Now I have already fallen in love with the other person. Now I will inevitably feel anxious, and I am also worried about whether the ceremony will be successful. It will definitely be fine, witches are so powerful, we must believe in witches. Yu Ying slowly stepped forward and pulled the corner of Nyojiao Niang's clothes. Obviously, Fox Ear Niang was also very worried, her pink eyes were full of worry. Yes, at this moment we can only believe in Wu and hope that Madara can survive, otherwise this time will be in vain. Shalan still feels sorry for Subai's witchcraft power. Why did it take so long? I see. Yanhua nodded resolutely. She saw that Yu Ying, who was usually soft and weak, had become stronger, and she had no reason to be worse than her. Subai's attention was all on Madara at first. When Yanhua heard after waiting for others to speak, he turned his head and smiled slightly at them. This also made them feel more at ease. Ah! Madara bit his lower lip, and a lot of blood flowed from his palm, which was caused by his nails sinking in. After all, he is an intermediate totem warrior, and his strength is still very strong. Even if he doesn't penetrate the palm hole, he is considered good. Madara kept making a low and patient voice, and there was already a large pool of sweat at his feet. It was like a bucket of water being poured down from my head. You can imagine how much pain it caused you to sweat. If my willpower hadn't been strong enough, I would have fainted from the pain by now. Found it. Subai's eyebrows suddenly raised, and a relaxed expression began to appear on his originally nervous face. Yanhua and others also breathed a sigh of relief, hoping that nothing would go wrong in the last step. Subai continued to focus on the other party's body. The hand covered with material had been searching near the heart. At this moment, Madara felt as if his heart had been pinched by someone, and his expression was very painful. But after he heard Subai say that he had found 3 words, there is hope for patience. If not for this, he might really not be able to hold on any longer. Even a totem warrior would not be able to endure the pain of someone pinching his heart. Time passed minute by second. 10 minutes after that, Subai slowly stretched out his hand. Miraculously, there were no wounds on Madara's chest, and he collapsed on the ground for an instant. Subai spread out his clenched fists, and all the materials in his hands had dissipated. It was clean. There was no blood on his broad palm, only a crystal with light blue light lying on the palm. The shape of the entire crystal was very irregular, a bit like a diamond that had failed to be cut. Is this the beast crystal? There is a warm feeling and it is very powerful. Subai had a smile on his face and continued, it's no wonder your body can't bear it. He could feel the power coming from the ferocious beast crystal on his palm. This was definitely not a crystal that an intermediate totem warrior could withstand. Madara was panting heavily at this moment, feeling like he was surviving a disaster. Although the crystal has been taken out, he still feels very weak now. Yanhua immediately ran over and moved forward to observe the beast crystal. She hesitated for a moment and said softly, is it the beast crystal? This is the first time she has seen the beast crystal, and her face is full of surprise. It looks so beautiful, and you can feel the power it radiates. Shalan felt a kind of pressure coming towards her face. Yuying couldn't help but make a daydream sound. She couldn't open her eyes a little bit, and she also felt very depressed. When Subai saw the fox-eared lady's appearance, he immediately closed his palms and restrained the light of the ferocious beast crystal. He frowned slightly and asked with concern, is Xiao okay? It seems that he is not a totem warrior and cannot look directly at this beast crystal. I'm fine. Yuying feels a little tired. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 936. Yanhua helped Yuying up from the ground, and then pulled a stool for her to sit on. Shalan also immediately poured a glass of water over and asked softly, is Xiao okay? Neither of the two cat-eared girls were affected, but they could feel a little pressure. Madara was also helped up by others, who also had a cup of boiling water. This thing is so powerful that ordinary people can't stand it just by looking at it. Bai weighed the beast crystal in his hand and continued, do you feel any discomfort, and are you okay? He wanted to see how the totem warrior would react when he saw this beast crystal, and what happened to Madara who was taken out of his body. There's no big problem, I just feel a little oppressed. Everything else is the same as usual. Shalan moved her snow-white wrists, feeling if there was anything different about her body. Me too, no difference. Yanhua said with her hands on her hips. Woo, I don't have any major problems, I just feel very tired, but my body feels a lot better. Madara did not cover his chest anymore, but moved his limbs and continued, I feel much better than before. He is very happy now. He is very sure that his body has been slumped before because of this beast crystal. The feeling of comfort in his body now is unprecedented. No, it should be a long-lost feeling. That's good, this ceremony was a complete success, just go back and have a good rest. Subai put away the hand that was using the healing technique, and came to Madara and continued to use the healing technique. He had just used the healing technique on Yuying beside him, so that the fox-eared girl could return to good condition. Thank you, Wu. If it weren't for you, I would have been dragged down by this beast crystal. Madara didn't dare to think about the consequences. Fortunately, it was taken out in time, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. Subai continued to look at the ferocious beast crystal in his hand. He was very clear about this. This ferocious beast crystal was obviously not an ordinary ferocious beast crystal. Otherwise, the power would not make even the totem warriors feel oppressed. Even it also makes ordinary people's legs weak. You can imagine what it feels like to be in the body for a long time. If time goes on for a long time, sooner or later the body will not be able to withstand the energy of the beast crystal, and it is still possible to be backlashed. Of witches, the witches in our tribe should also know this, right? Then why did he put the beast crystal into my body? Madara is very entangled in this point. It is obvious that he is not suitable for this beast crystal. Maybe you are the only talented person in the tribe, so I can only give this beast crystal to you. Subai thought for a moment, suddenly froze, and asked with a change of expression, "You said before that during your tribe's awakening ceremony, you would put ferocious beast crystals in your body, right?" He instantly recalled what the other party said, but didn't Yeju say before that this kind of beast crystal is difficult to obtain? If the Madareno tribe is really in the awakening ceremony, everyone can have a beast crystal stone. Then this is very unbelievable. The warriors of the tribe all possess beast crystals, and their strength must be stronger than other tribes. Yes, everyone has one, so yesterday I was a little curious as to why the beast crystal was said to be so rare. Madara was also a little surprised. "Do you remember the location of your tribe? Is it far from here?" Subai was a little excited. This is really a major discovery. If such a tribe really exists, then the Yanlong tribe has to be prepared. I forgot that the tribe is not located near here, and the environment is different, Madara said thoughtfully. He has been away from the tribe for several years, that is, he has been in exile for a few years. As for the specific location of the tribe, it has also been blurred. The environment is different. What is the environment your tribe lives in? Subai had a guess in his mind. It is a stone forest, unlike here there are dense trees. If we want to see the trees, we have to go far away. Madara took a sip of water and continued, "That means leaving the tribe. It's not as good as this at all, so our tribe there will have wars all year round." "Is it a stone forest?" "It seems there is a lot I don't know about this continent." The corners of Subai's mouth rose slightly. He now felt a mixture of anticipation and excitement. It was probably because a new section of the game map had appeared. He still had many places to go. Yes, he wanted to go to the stone forest. Go and have a look. I remember that I spent 50 or 60 days away from the tribe, during which time I was constantly on the road and hiding. Madara remembered the bad memories and continued, the place where our tribe was before was not good at all. When he saw Subai's expectant look, he thought that the other party was expecting something, so he had to count them quickly. "I know that based on your time, it would take more than 2 months to get from our continent to the place where your previous tribe was." Subai thought thoughtfully and continued, "In that case, there is nothing to worry about. We still have enough time to develop." He originally thought that the situation of ferocious beast crystals per capita in the Madareno tribe would threaten the existence of the Yanlong tribe. But now it seems that it will take a long time for them to come to this continent, and even the Yanlong tribe. What's more, they won't come directly to the Yanlong tribe, which means the tribe still has enough time to develop. As long as the Yanlong tribe is allowed to continue to develop for a year or two, Subai is confident that he can rule a continent. He thought here, he blinked his black eyes and asked, "Do the people over there often leave the stone forest?" "That is, into the forest. As the saying goes, only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you win 100 battles. It just so happens that there is a person from the stone forest now, who can get some more information. I almost never leave the stone forest, thinking that there is still a long way between the stone forest and the forest. This journey will take 10 or 20 days. Madara was very bitter when he thought of those days of migration. He adjusted his emotions and continued, "Besides this, there are many dangers on the road, so few people will take this risk." "I understand. I'll ask you if there's anything else I want to know in the future." Subai nodded with satisfaction. As long as he knows that there is no threat from the other party for the time being, it is good. After all, the matter of the Dark Scorpion tribe has not been resolved yet. "Yes, Wu, what should I do with this beast crystal?" Madara is a little curious. That is, he is curious about who in the Yanlong tribe this ferocious beast crystal belongs to. Even though he is not blessed to bear it, it is still okay to know where it is going. When Subai heard this, he spread his palms and looked at it carefully. That ferocious beast crystal. Also, who should this ferocious beast crystal be suitable for? Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 937. Subai looked at the light blue ferocious beast crystal on his palm, weighed it a few times and decided to find a suitable person. He already had suitable candidates in his mind, either for the chief or for Kangxi and Shahong. These three people are relatively strong in the tribe, and it is estimated that only the three of them can withstand the ferocious beast crystal. Of course, this is just what he thinks. He also has to see if this beast crystal is a match for them. Wu, look at this ferocious beast crystal shining brightly, Shalan suddenly exclaimed. The cat-eared girl's blue eyes were stunned, and she found that the glowing look of this ferocious beast crystal was so beautiful. This is the first time it has been taken out of the body, and it even feels warm. Subai could feel the temperature coming from the beast crystal. It was even hotter than when he took it out. But this was within the acceptable range. The light emitted by the beast crystal was getting brighter and brighter. The temperature emitted was getting higher and higher, and it suddenly attracted the attention of everyone in the living room. In everyone's surprised iced tea beast crystal slowly floated up. It seems to be looking for its owner, Yan Hua boldly guessed. Is there anyone here who is suitable for this beast crystal? Shalan flicked the cat's tail. She didn't like this ferocious beast crystal very much. After all, it can torture people like this. It would be bad if it would have the same rejection reaction after entering her body. Just as the cat-eared lady finished speaking, the ferocious beast crystal suddenly entered Subai's body. Yes, it floated directly in the direction of the heart. This scene happened between lightning and flint. Everyone present was stunned. Before anyone could react, the light blue light of the ferocious beast crystal dissipated. The moment it entered Subai's heart, it just emitted a burst of light blue light and then dissipated immediately. It chose which, Shalan was a little stunned. You must know that Wu is not a totem warrior, and Wu is so young. What if he can't bear this beast crystal? For a moment, everyone was a little panicked. Is Wu okay? The beast crystal has chosen Yu Yan, who ran forward worriedly and kept looking left and right. Wu, this beast crystal has chosen you. It seems that you are the most suitable for this beast crystal. Madara stood up from the stool with some difficulty. It was the first time he saw this scene. When he was in the tribe before, he always saw the shaman personally putting the beast crystals into the bodies of the warriors. Never before. He has seen that the beast crystal took the initiative to choose someone else, and the one he chose now is not a warrior. In his memory since he was a child, this kind of thing has never happened, and he finds it very incredible. Is there any precedent for a ferocious beast crystal choosing a witch? Subai asked. He was a little confused at this moment. Didn't it say that the beast crystal is only suitable for warriors? Why would such a powerful beast crystal choose him? You must know that he is not what kind of totem warrior? Although his current strength is comparable to that of an intermediate totem warrior, no, even higher. But according to the rules of the tribe, that is to say, to be more rigorous, he is not even a reserve warrior. It has never happened before. The previous witch said that the beast crystal can only be adapted to totem warriors. Madara held his chest with his hand and continued, it seems that if someone other than a warrior puts a ferocious beast crystal in their body may not be able to withstand being swallowed. He didn't know whether these statements were true. Anyway, the chiefs and witches in the tribe said so. I see, it seems that I am destined to have this beast crystal. Subai nodded thoughtfully. He also put his hand on his chest to feel it, wanting to see if there was any difference. Wu, is there anything you feel uncomfortable about? Do you want to take out the ferocious beast crystal? Shalan Ruren's face was full of worry, and she understood the reason for Wu Wen's words. He is not a totem warrior after all, so he still needs to pay attention to this beast crystal. I haven't used it for a while and I haven't felt any discomfort. On the contrary, I feel particularly energetic. Subai moved his hand bones and said with satisfaction, I also feel very powerful. Maybe this beast crystal has no influence on me. This feeling was immediate, and he immediately felt the difference in his body. It was like a very sleepy person, who slept for 10 hours at a time, and then woke up feeling energetic. It seems that this ferocious beast crystal is very suitable for Wu Zhenyan, who breathed a sigh of relief instantly. Wu, I really didn't expect you to be so adapted to this beast crystal. This has never been heard of in our tribe. Madara was so surprised that he couldn't open his mouth from ear to ear. He never expected that it would be like this. He would never take what the tribe witch said before, because witches are sacred existences. Of course, he also believed in Subai very much. It is precisely because he believes in both aspects. He feels very shocked now because this breaks through his previous understanding. You should go back and rest first. You should have had a good time visiting the tribe in the past 2 days, right? After resting, it's time to join the training team. Subai retracted the idea that had just sprouted in his heart, and continued to warn, as long as you are willing to work hard, the Yanlong tribe will accept you from the heart. He is still more optimistic about Madara. In addition to his talent, there is also news about another land. Yes, thank you. Wu Madara is indeed feeling very tired now and wants to go back and have a good sleep. Tap tap tap. Yu Ying immediately stepped forward and asked with a bit of tears, Wu, is there really nothing wrong? The fox-eared lady thought about how she was shocked by the power radiated by the ferocious beast crystal. Inevitably, Subai began to worry. After all, this beast crystal had entered the body. Nothing happened to me, but I felt very comfortable. Let's go and verify it. Subai showed a faint smile. This was the idea that just came up. He wanted to test to what level his own strength would be improved after having the beast crystal in his body. Or maybe there was no improvement at all. All this will only be known after experimentation. Does Wu want to see if his strength has improved? Shalan shook the cat's tail and said worriedly, do you want Wu to take a rest first? Yes, you have just consumed so much witch power, you should take a rest. Yanhua walked in front of her with gentle steps, worry written all over her face. I'll make some food for the witch so that you can recover your strength. Yu Ying also immediately agreed. It's okay, I feel really good now. Subai really didn't feel anything wrong. The 3 girls couldn't help it. Seeing that Wu's face was indeed very good, they nodded and followed him out of Yong'an building. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 938. Subai and others left Yong'an building, got on the carriage and headed outside the tribe. Half an hour later, everyone came to a place where there was no one. Yeju glanced around to make sure it was safe before opening the carriage door. She stepped aside respectfully and said softly, "Witch, there is no one around, you can rest assured." After all, it was a witch from a tribe who came out, and he still wanted to test the power of the beast crystal. Naturally, you have to make sure there is no one around, otherwise not only will the news be spread, but it may also hurt the people around you. Well, everyone, please don't get too close. I don't know how powerful it is. Subai shook his sleeves and motioned for everyone to retreat behind him for a while. Clear. Everyone understood this and all stepped back a certain distance. However, no one was too far away, because they also had to ensure the safety of the good witch. When Subai saw that everyone had retreated a certain distance, he began to move away. His right hand resembled a pistol, preparing to use the gun talent skill. This time, he planned to use all the talent skills once to see if the beast crystal could increase the power of these talent skills. Boom! As a burst of gunfire rang out, the trunk of a big tree was blown open, as if it had been hit by a small explosive pack. This scene all happened in the midst of lightning and flint, and everyone else was stunned. The trunk of the big tree was still emitting wisps of smoke, and the trunk part was directly blown up. You can imagine how powerful it is. It has indeed improved a lot before, It only left a bullet hole, but now it seems to be equivalent to a small hand grenade. Subai waved his finger, and the remaining wisps of smoke dissipated immediately. Is this witchcraft? Why have I never heard of such witchcraft before? Yeju was stunned for a moment. Although he had heard that Subai was very powerful before, he had never experienced it. Now it seems that the witch is not only the spiritual leader who gathers the tribe, but also protects the tribe. Ah! In the past, this was how everyone knew witches. The existence of witches was to gather tribes together. Because witches' abilities are needed by tribes, such as awakening totem warriors, making witch dominoes, leading tribes to a better life, etc. Everyone knows that Wu has extraordinary abilities, but no one relies on his combat power. But it's different now. The strength Subai showed is so strong that it can't be ignored. It is much stronger than last time. It seems that the beast crystal is very suitable for witches. Yan Hua said in shock. The horned lady's red eyes kept looking in the direction of the big tree, and she was completely impressed by the power of this blow. The blow just now was not something that the totem warrior could withstand, even a very strong one. It's all the same. Even ferocious beasts can't withstand the blow just now. As long as it hits the vital point, or some relatively fragile places, the effect will definitely be very significant. If the hit rate is high, I am afraid that Wudu will no longer need our protection, but will still protect us. It can be said that Shalan is very sober. In the end, no one knows who is protecting anyone. It turns out that Wu is so powerful Yu Ying was completely stunned. The gunshot that just erupted frightened the fox-eared girl. Then she got into the cat-eared girl's arms, with her pink foxtail hanging low. It took a while to realize. Yu Ying's understanding of Subai was that he was very smart and thought of many things that others didn't know. Moreover, these things were very helpful to the tribe, and secondly, he was very powerful in witchcraft. But it is only limited to healing and plant growth techniques, and has no idea of its combat strength. Now that the pointing gun skill has been strengthened, let's take a look at other talents, Subai murmured to himself. When he retracted his fingers, his other hand was ready to use the next talent skill, which is the iron arm. This is a talent skill for hand-to-hand combat, and the opportunity to use it is relatively small. A little less. Of course, there are not many opportunities to use the innate skill of pointing the gun. After all, he has been protected in the tribe. As the words fell, Subai's left hand was covered with a layer of light gold, and the light was like a modified mechanical arm. He no longer hesitated, raised his left hand and swung it towards a large rock next to him. But this time he did not use all his strength, but only used about 30% of his strength. The large piece of stone shattered immediately. Moreover, the stone was already shattered into pieces, and the sight of the dregs and powder on the ground made people feel chilly. I wonder what will happen if I use my full strength. Will stones bigger than this be broken? Subai thought with satisfaction. He now has a clearer understanding of the strength of Iron Arm, although he had already tested it when he first obtained this talent skill. But at that time, Iron Arm used all his strength to break a piece of the big stone was smashed, but now it only used 30% of the strength. It can be imagined how much the strength of this Iron Arm has been enhanced. Subai did not stop too much, and used other innate skills one after another, such as plant growth, healing, etc. The results have also been greatly improved, which is very surprising. However, the triggering conditions of some talents and skills are a bit difficult, so there is no way to verify them. For example, inner space, danger warning, transformation, domestication, etc., these cannot be verified at the moment. There are no powerful ferocious beasts in the forest now, and the original domestication skills of some small beasts can be used. There is no way to test the ferocious beasts. What are the differences in the domestication skills after the beast crystal, let alone the danger warning? It is also impossible to encounter dangerous things, so naturally the danger warning cannot be triggered. There is another talent skill, that is to say, transformation. The things being transformed now are very simple and do not require special testing. Wu, are all the tests finished? Yu Ying immediately stepped forward and handed over a bag of water. The fox-eared lady had been observing from behind and saw that Subai had rested for a long time before she dared to step forward. Because she didn't know whether to continue the experiment, only when she saw the movement stopped. Only then did he dare to go forward and ask. Subai reached out and scratched the other person's little face, and said gently, the tests are all over, and my department also has a rough score. Yes, he already knows what his strength is. He is now equivalent to a high-level totem warrior. He may even be able to go higher. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 939. In the sky, a hot air balloon advanced slowly. The people on the hot air balloon are Alu and the totem warriors of the Yanlong tribe. This time, the warriors who led the Green Vine tribe back were Bai Si, Hechuan, and some other reserve warriors. Originally, the leaders of this mission were Yanhua, Shaolin and others, but because they had other things to do. Naturally, the candidates who followed Alu back to the Green Vine tribe were changed, and the people they replaced were also very powerful. It has only been a few days since they left the Yanlong tribe, and they will soon arrive at the Green Vine tribe. It's right in front, so you don't need to go in. I'm afraid that father and the others will make things difficult for you. Alu's face is not very pretty. It has been like this since she left the Yanlong tribe. In addition to resenting what the Luteng tribe did without telling her, she is also worried that the two tribes will turn against each other. The Yanlong tribes, there are many good things that the Green Vine tribe needs, and Alu likes them very much. She really wants to continue to cooperate with the Yanlong tribe, so didn't he want the two tribes to fight. Moreover, if the two tribes fight, the Green Vine tribe obviously has no chance of winning. She didn't know this before, but after staying in the Yanlong tribe for a long time recently, she naturally knew that the opponent's strength was not low. I understand, then we will wait for you in the forest not far away. Bye. Si glanced around and continued, that's it? The cliffs are not accessible to ferocious beasts. Come out after handling them. She also knew that she couldn't follow him in. No one knows that in this situation, no one can come out alive if he follows in. Good. Alu is glad that they can understand. Otherwise, if she goes back and tells the whole story, with the character of the witch and the chief, she will definitely arrest the people from the Yanlong tribe. Alu thinks that these people from the Yanlong tribe should be arrested. People are still very simple, but if they do this, it really means that the two tribes are at odds, and it will be another massacre of lives. No, it may be a one-sided battle, that is, the Yanlong tribe will definitely occupy the most good advantage. Buzz buzz. After Alu was placed on the ground, the hot air balloon began to slowly rise into the air. I don't know if I can wait for the good news, Hechuan said suddenly. He kept looking at Alu, who was walking towards the Green Vine tribe, and he was a little nervous. It just depends on whether the people of the Green Vine tribe know the priorities of things and which side is more important. I believe they should be able to tell the difference. Bai Si was not very worried, because she knew that any normal person would know how to make a choice. In the face of absolutely overwhelming strength, anyone who was not stupid would not risk the life and death of the entire tribe. It's hard to say, maybe they really don't believe this, but I hope so. Hechuan, who was still a little worried at first, suddenly felt at ease. At this time, he hoped for bad news. Of course, this is bad news for the Green Vine tribe, but for the Yanlong tribe, it is a good news. Big good news. Yes, if they are unwilling to do what Wu said, we will take over the entire Green Vine tribe. Bye. I took a sip of water and continued. In this way, the labor force of our Yanlong tribe can be increased. People in the primitive era were simple. They just wanted to eat meat and have enough people in the tribe. This is the idea of all tribesmen, that is, a tribe must have a lot of people. Only with a lot of people can it be prosperous. A big tribe will gradually form. According to what Wu said, we can just wait quietly. No matter whether it's good or bad, it doesn't make any difference to us. The river also began to relax. Tap tap tap. After Alu got off the hot air balloon, he started running quickly. With both hands, he kept pushing aside the branches blocking the road, as well as some flying mosquitoes, and kept running towards the Green Vine tribe. She ignored the scratches on her feet, the discomfort from mosquito bites, and the slapping of branches. She just wanted to bring the news back to the tribe as quickly as possible. Half an hour later, Alu came to the tribe with bruises all over his body. When the tribe members saw this, they all gathered around and asked what happened and what happened to those who were traveling with them. But Alu didn't have time to talk to them. Normally, he might tell them what he saw and heard when he went out. But at this moment, she had more important things to do, so she ran straight towards Wu's wooden house. The people of the Green Vine tribe did not dare to say anything when they saw this, knowing that the matter might be serious. Although everyone was still a little worried about the other warriors, at this moment everyone was quietly watching Alu run to Wu's cabin, and no one dared to say a word. Crunch. Alu didn't care about any etiquette anymore, just opened the door and knelt on the ground, and began to adjust her breathing. What's wrong? So flustered, Wulu is slowly opening his old eyes. He has just been closing his eyes to rest, because after spending more than half a year, he finally made another witch domino. The witch domino just made was very laborious and witchy. Yes, so I have to rest for a long time. Wu, our plan was discovered, the plan you asked them to do. Alu kept panting and started to drink water. She had already forgotten the etiquette. What did you say? Why did the Yanlong tribe ask you to come back? Wu Luhan frowned immediately. He knew that the Yanlong tribe did not directly kill them all, otherwise they would not let Alu come back to talk about this matter. What's more, Alu has only been away from the tribe for how long? According to the last time he went calculating the time passed by the Yanlong tribe. Alu definitely shouldn't have appeared here at this point in time. It would have been at least several days later. The shamans of the Yanlong tribe said they wanted us to compensate them for their losses. Alu said word for word. What a joke, what did the Yanlong tribe lose? Say, what do they want? Wu Luhan understands the cunningness of these people very well. He must be trying to get something by saying this at this time. Witches must be mentally prepared. Alu took another sip of water and then said slowly, we need slaves, dried meat, and witch dominoes from our tribe. After she finished speaking, she immediately lowered her head, not daring to raise her head to look directly into the other person's eyes. Just thinking about it, she could know what the other person would do. It was really chilling. You say it again? Does the Yanlong tribe really want these requirements? Wu Luhan lost his composure in an instant. The tone of his words became much heavier, and the wooden house was suddenly filled with a depressing atmosphere. What the Yanlong tribe wants is slaves, dried meat, and witch dominoes. Without these compensations. Alu continued to lower his head, and began to think of words to persuade the other party. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 940. At this time, Lu Shan also stepped in from the outside, and heard everything Alu said from outside. He was originally watching the training of the totem warriors at the training ground, when he saw Alu come back. And since he was alone, he followed him curiously. Say it again, "Is this really what the Yanlong tribe said?" Green Mountain asked in an angry tone. Green nodded without hesitation and said with certainty again, "That's what they said, and our warriors are now in their hands. I didn't expect that the Yanlong tribe had such a big appetite and actually wanted our witch dominoes. I couldn't give them to them no matter what." Green Mountain's tone was very violent, and the expression on his face looked very ferocious. "What else did they say?" Wu Luhan asked. He also knew that the Yanlong tribe was not simple. Now he had to figure out what the other party wanted to do. "There is nothing more to say, but we are asked to compensate them according to these conditions. If we are not willing to compensate, we have to bear their anger." Ah! Lu's breathing began to calm down slowly, and he continued to speak. "The Yanlong tribe has the strength, so we can't take risks. She is very smart now and has changed her way of thinking to talk to them about this matter. If she is very anxious now, or shows that she must compensate them, then this may arouse their rebellious psychology, but will make them. I don't want to make compensation. But now I pretend to be on the same side as them, maybe what I say will be more easily accepted. What is going on, and why do we have to pay compensation?" Green Mountain suppressed his anger and sat down, trying to figure out the whole story. "This is what I want to ask you. None of you told me this plan. I don't know what's going on." Alu deliberately complained, "Every move we make is seen by the people of the Yanlong tribe, so we were discovered from the beginning. Is the Yanlong tribe so strong? I don't think we should compensate them," Green Mountain said without hesitation. "What the Yanlong tribe wants is not a small thing. If it is dried meat or slaves, forget it. But now what the other party wants is the witch bone tablets, which are the foundation of a tribe. No matter what, you can't let him out. Stop talking, this matter must be carefully considered." "How many warriors do our tribe have now?" Wu Luhan asked. He didn't speak just now, but was thinking about something with his eyes closed. "Counting the totem warriors who awakened this year and the reserve warriors, we now have a total of more than 500. Lu Zheng remembered these numbers very clearly. There are more than 200 totem warriors among them. If we have to deal with them, we shouldn't have to worry." "How many totem warriors are there in the Yanlong tribe?" Wu Luhan continued to ask. "I don't know this, but there should be a lot of warriors, and they also have many unknown weapons. Alu really doesn't know how many warriors there are in the Yanlong tribe, although this is not a secret to each tribe. But the Yanlong tribe is too unpredictable, and many things are not something she would know. This is a bit tricky. We don't know much about serious illness, but they know us very well." Wu Lu was looking at the porcelain on the shelf next to him and continued to ask, "How many witch dominoes do they want? He is a witch from a tribe after all, and he is not stupid. Ever since the Yanlong tribe took back the territory occupied by the Black Snake tribe." Wu Luhan knew very well that the strength of the Yanlong tribe was definitely very strong, and for a period of time he becomes stronger from within. Because in his impression, although the Yanlong tribe is not weak, it is definitely not that strong. "I didn't ask for details about this, they just stated this condition." Alu breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. Because he knew that the witch had relented, which meant that the two tribes might not fight. She was very worried at the beginning, worried that the witch would not listen to what she said. "Wu, do we really have to agree to them? This is a great shame for us." Green Mountain was immediately unhappy. He stood up from where he was sitting. He is the chief of a tribe and a totem warrior. His need for witch dominoes is the most urgent. The witch dominoes can not only help them winning victory in the war, can also help them gain an advantage in hunting. It is also the foundation of a tribe's strength, so if he is asked to hand over the witch dominoes, he is unwilling to do anything. "So do you think we are going to fight them? Give up the stable life of the tribe and fight them?" Wu Luhan did not refute directly, but asked two questions in a row. He was thinking about these questions when he closed his eyes and rested his mind. If the two tribes really started to fight, then their lieutenant, does the tribe have any chance of winning? It is obvious that after his series of calculations and predictions, the Green Vine tribe is simply not enough to defeat the Yanlong tribe. Which, it is very normal for two tribes to fight. Don't be afraid, maybe we will win. Lubshin waved his hands regardless, but his tone was very angry anyway. This is nothing more than giving up the dignity of the Luteng tribe to another tribe, which is a very slap in the face to the chief of a tribe. The fact that the Yanlong tribe has grown so strong in a short period of time means that they must have some relatively powerful trump cards. Wu Luhan did not blame the other party for his too aggressive tone, but continued calmly, "Don't you understand about the Black Snake tribe? Don't you understand the advantage of being able to travel during heavy ice and snow periods?" He kept asking questions one after another. Each question was fatal, and each question was impossible for the other party to answer. Of course he was unwilling to give up the witch dominoes. He is a tribal shaman, and the shaman dominoes are made by him, which requires more than a little time and energy. If it comes to being slapped in the face or humiliated, I am afraid that only Wu Luhan is more qualified to be angry. Snort, Green Mountain couldn't answer, so he could only sulk himself. It must have been sent to you by people from the Yanlong tribe. Ask someone how many witch dominoes they need. Wu Lu was closing his eyes and continuing to rest, waving his hands to let everyone out. He needs to adjust well now. This incident really made him feel very irritable. Yes, Lu nodded slightly, stood up, and walked out. Lu Shan wanted to say something, but he still closed his mouth. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 941. Goo 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 goo. There were sounds of birds chirping. Subai opened the window and let the birds fall on his arms. There was a small box tied to the letter bird's paw, and the note inside was taken out. Wu, is he from the Haiu tribe or someone else? Yu Ying asked curiously. She could hear the sound of a messenger bird almost every once in a while. The cooing sound was very clear and easy to identify. It was Hechuan and the others, said to be from the Green Vine tribe, who agreed. Subai looked at the words on the note and said. The words on the note were very simple, that is, we agreed on the way back. These people who have just learned Chinese characters for a short time are required to write a complete letters are difficult. But now it's pretty good. At least I know what they want to express. Great, this way we don't have to be enemies with Alu. Yu Ying breathed a sigh of relief. Although she had only been with Alu for a short time, the fox-eared lady had already regarded her as a friend. Let's wait and see how the soldiers react when they come back. There's a good chance they'll be back tomorrow. Subai let go of the letter bird, turned around and walked towards the dining table. Yes, Yu Ying also followed. Time passed by and soon it was noon of the next day. Bsi, Hechuan and other totem warriors were back and were now gathered in Yong'an building. Which, the people of the Green Vine tribe have agreed to your request, but they can only give you 5 witch dominoes and only 300 slaves. Bsi has been conveying the words of the Green Vine tribe. It can be said that it is a good one. Well, within my expectation, when will these compensations be implemented? Subai had decided on the number of witch dominoes and slaves before, and this answer was also expected. He had already taught the soldiers how to negotiate when they set out. That is to say, they should negotiate as soon as they open their mouth. 20 witch dominoes, 1,000 slaves, etc., are these a lot? Of course it is not too much for Subai. He can make more than 10 witch dominoes in a day. 20 witch dominoes are not enough for Subai. For him, it's just 2 days' worth, but for other tribes, it's several years' worth. They said they needed time to prepare and would personally send the people over before the rainy season. Bsi continued. Have I emphasized my request to them? Subai asked. I have already emphasized the witchcraft, and they said they would definitely pay attention to it. I nodded without hesitation. When the soldiers left, Subai specifically emphasized that the slaves must be from other tribes. And they must be healthy and strong, including young women. But people from the Green Vine tribe must not be mixed in. If there are any problems later, the Green Vine tribe will definitely be questioned. This is also Subai's way of wanting the stability of the tribe, otherwise those slaves are likely to be mixed with Green Vine tribe. People from the Vine tribe. In this way, many things about the Yanlong tribe will be leaked. Although many important things are in their own hands. But there is no guarantee that those people have any special means. It is better to prevent it. Good. Well, I'll send someone to pick him up outside the tribe when the time comes. It won't be long before the rainy season arrives, Subai warned. Yes. I nodded. When Yuying saw the soldiers leaving, she asked curiously, why do you want the witch dominoes from the Green Vine tribe? Fox Niang thinks that Subai can make a lot of witch dominoes every day, so there is no need for others to make them. Moreover, the witch dominoes from other tribes may not be good, and there is no good help if they come. Yuying feels that. Are witch dominoes important to a tribe? Subai asked back. It's very important. Witches and witch dominoes are very important things to the tribe, Yuying said without hesitation. That's why I asked their tribe to take out the witch bone tiles. Will their tribe's strength be reduced a lot? Subai took a sip of tea and continued, what's more, we can also study the witch dominoes of other tribes, which is not a bad thing for us. This is something he has been thinking about, which is to look at the witch dominoes of various tribes to study some useful information for him. I understand, Wu is trying to check and balance the Green Vine tribe, right? But if a war does break out, our tribe will not lose. Yuying tilted her neck with confusion on her face. In her opinion, the Green Vine tribe was no match for the Yanlong tribe. Yes, although the strength of the Green Vine tribe is not a threat to us, who can say for sure what will happen in the future? Subai put down the teacup and continued, and if they get into trouble in the future, we might have a legitimate reason. Does the witch want to take over the Green Vine tribe? Yuying boldly guessed. It may happen in the future, but not for the time being. What we do today is just a preparation. Everything will depend on how it develops in the future, Subai's gentle voice sounded. He really thought so. If you want to build a city or a kingdom, both manpower and territory are very important. But if this happens, we will have to disperse some people again, which is very detrimental to our tribe, Yuying said worriedly. The Foxier girl thought of the Haiu tribe and also divided out many totem warriors and reserve warriors. Don't worry so much for now, who can say for sure what will happen in the future, and maybe I will merge with the Green Vine tribe. Subai is very calm. He already has a rough blueprint in mind, but it can't be implemented quickly yet. I know, no matter what Wu decides, I will always be behind you, Yuying said very firmly. I won't let you leave either. Subai scratched the tip of the other person's nose teasingly. Yuying narrowed her eyes subconsciously and said, I don't know what happened to the soldiers on the other side. Will those tribes agree? The fox-eared lady began to be curious about the answers from other tribes, thinking that if they didn't agree, a war would break out. The answer will be available soon, probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Subai still seemed very calm. No matter what answer he received now, he felt that it didn't matter. Anyway, it would only benefit the Yanlong tribe and not cause any harm. Yes, I just hope it can be solved before the rainy season arrives. Yuying doesn't care about the answers from those tribes. She just wants to know if all this can be ended before the rainy season. Otherwise, a war during the rainy season would be really bad for the Yanlong tribe. Yes, they know the pros and cons. Subai stretched out. One update, please customize and support. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 942. What did you say? A loud roar came from a wooden house in the Daihu tribe. The people in the Daihu tribe were stunned. There was nothing else. This voice was the chief's voice. They had never heard of the chief. Speaking so loudly, it was conveyed far away. Chief, what's going on? Hu Kao said doubtfully. How do I know? It was probably Uni who got into trouble. After all, Ci was the only one who came back this time. Hong Yun shook his head. Both of them are totem warriors of the Daihu tribe, and they can be regarded as warriors of the older generation. It shouldn't be a big deal, right? But how could that person come back? They are obviously from another continent. Hu Kao frowned. I'm not sure, I think this time's incident should be more serious. Hong Yun waved his hand. Aren't you forbidden to talk about this again? Wu said that as long as you join the Daihu tribe, you will not care about the previous ones. I know, why was the reaction so big all of a sudden? It scared me. Hu Kao patted his chest. Okay, get busy quickly and stop speculating here. Hong Yun rolled her eyes. The two of them just paused for a moment and stopped worrying about it, because there were still many things to do. After all, the rainy season was coming soon. If anything happened to Yi and I, they would know it sooner or later. There is no rush for this moment. The top priority now is to take protective measures against the arrival of the rainy season. In the wooden house, Tiger Beard's expression was very ugly, and his body completely stood up from his position. What I said is true. The chief's plan was discovered, and now the Yanlong tribe wants us to compensate. Ci repeated. It only took 2 days until she was sent back by the warriors of the Yanlong tribe. Ci quickly rushed towards the tribe as soon as the hot air balloon was released. Such an important matter cannot be delayed. Compensate the Yanlong tribe? Are you kidding me? Which tribe is still qualified to demand compensation from us? Tiger. Beard looked unconcerned. He had always ignored the Yanlong tribe, but why are you coming back? Where is Yi and I? Isn't it a trap between you and another tribe? Now that he heard that the other party actually made this request, the first thing he heard was that he was very angry, but now he still wants to laugh. In the end, he began to worry about his daughter. After all, she just came back alone now. Chief, the Yanlong tribe seems to be really powerful, so it's better for us not to take risks. They are holding Yi and I as a hostage for this reason. Ci's brown-skinned face was full of worry, worried about Yi and I's safety, and a little guilty that she should be allowed to come back as a representative. As for her understanding of the Bianlong tribe, she summarized it after staying there for so many days. I always feel that it is not easy for the Yanlong tribe to have so many good things. This may have something to do with their strength. Of course, this is just speculation, and there may be other reasons. Otherwise, there are so many powerful tribes in this continent, why don't they have good things like the Yanlong tribe? If you have strength, you won't be a small tribe. If you have strength, you will be very tough. You won't be conveyed about compensation through you like now. Tiger. Beard took a big sip of the ferocious beast's blood. He looked down upon the Yanlong tribe anyway. You actually want to keep my daughter in the Yanlong tribe? Will I be afraid? It's so ridiculous. Chief, wasn't their territory occupied by the Black Snake tribe for some time? It hasn't been long since I got it back, so it's great that it has developed like this. Uni is still a little worried, so we still have to be careful. The rainy season is coming soon. We still don't take risks. Uni is still in their hands. Let's talk about the situation of Yanlong tribe, and then I will decide what to do next. Tiger Beard asked. In the end, Yi and I is in the opponent's hands. No matter how much he looks down on the Yanlong tribe, he still has to get to know the opponent well. The warriors of the Yanlong tribe patrol very intensively. I observed them for several days and found that each batch of warriors seems to be different. I told everyone what she had seen and heard in the past few days. In addition, they have some very strange weapons that we have never seen before. For this reason, she also specifically asked everyone. Many people from other tribes in the market got the answer that they had never seen it before. According to what you said, the Yanlong tribe is indeed a strange tribe, but it may also be a trick. Tiger. Beard frowned. The purpose is to make people think that the Yanlong tribe is very strong. This tribe is very smart in this regard, but it's just being clever. I'm not sure about that. Chief, you won't let go of those soldiers, right? I immediately started to worry. What she was most worried about was Yi, because the other party trusted her so much that she could never mess up this matter. What's more, it takes a lot of time and energy to train a warrior, and warriors are also members of the tribe. Fundamental. Why does it have to be Uni? It would be nice if it wasn't her. Tiger Beard's face is not very good looking either. Naturally, he knows the importance of warriors and even more so the importance of his daughter. However, compared with warriors and witch dominoes definitely stand out. If witch dominoes are used well, they can bring out the best in them. It is comparable to the strength of several warriors. Moreover, the production time of witch dominoes is much longer than training a warrior. If his daughter is not in the opponent's hands now, he will definitely abandon those warriors. Chief, although the number of witch dominoes they want is large, can we discuss it with them and maybe the number will be reduced? I suggested. She now feels that what Yi said is right. Fortunately, she is back this time. Otherwise, the chief will definitely give up the remaining warriors. You can know from what the chief just said. Ask for 50 witch dominoes as soon as you open your mouth. Do you really think our witch can make many blocks in one day? This is simply impossible. Tiger Beard was very angry. I can only give them 10 yuan at most, no more. Chief, what about the number of slaves? And the amount of jerky? I immediately asked. The number of slaves must also be halved. 1,000 slaves is impossible. Only 500 are the maximum. This is more than half of the number of slaves in our tribe. Tiger. Beard's face was already red with anger, and he continued, the texture is the same. I can't give too much, just cut it in half. We have to survive the rainy season. Yes, Chief, I will discuss this with the people of the Yanlong tribe. I immediately nodded. She couldn't wait to leave the tribe and go outside to discuss it with the Yanlong tribe. Let them treat Yi well, otherwise there will be nothing. Hu Beard is someone who knows the Yanlong tribe, and he is not far away from the tribe now. Yes, I nodded heavily. One update, please customize and support. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 943. Subai sat in his seat, took out a pen and paper and wrote there. After he signed in the morning, he suddenly had an idea. As soon as the idea came to him, he immediately took out paper and pen and started drawing. What is the witch doing? Yu Ying obediently handed over a cup of tea. I plan to build a large bathhouse. Subai took the cup of freshly brewed tea. Yes, he had wanted to implement this idea for a long time, but it had not been implemented because there were many things that hindered it. Bathing is a problem for people in the tribe. Now there are only a few people in the tribe. A toilet. Although the tribe is not short of water now, everyone has not developed the habit of taking a bath every day. Of course, now is summer, everyone will go directly to take a cold shower without heating hot water. But this is only for totem warriors, or for stronger men. It is more difficult for the elderly, the weak, the sick, and the women. For women and children, being able to take a hot bath is a real enjoyment. Otherwise, they would rather not take a bath than take a cold bath. You have to take a bath to suffer. What's more, Everyone's thinking now is that this water is only for drinking, and they don't even want to use it to take a bath. Woo, what is a large bathhouse? Yu Ying was sorting the scattered papers beside the table. A large bath is a place where everyone can take a bath, but it is public, Subai explained. Does public mean that everyone can use it together? Do we want everyone to take a shower together? Yu Ying's hand in sorting the documents stopped instantly, and the pink foxtail was also very tight. The fox-eared girl felt that this was really shameful, and she didn't dare to look at the scene of everyone taking a bath together. Ha ha ha, it's not what you think. Although it is a public bath, there are partitions. Su Bai smiled heartily. What's more, men and women are separated. It all depends on personal choice. People in the primitive era were simple, and they would still blush when talking about this matter. I see, the partitions Wu mentioned are closed like toilets, right? Yu Ying stood obediently next to the table. It's just that no one comes to take a bath. Maybe this bathhouse is a bit wasteful. Fox-eared lady also knows the current situation of the tribe. There are still many people who don't like bathing. They just think it's troublesome to boil water for bathing, and they don't have this awareness at all. Su Bai stopped his quill and said, as long as the public bathhouse is built, I believe everyone will like it. Is there anything different about Wu's public baths? Yu Ying looked innocent. All the bathing water in the public bathhouse is warm, and taking a bath requires 2 contribution points. You can stay there as long as you want. Su Bai picked up the drawing and said thoughtfully, and the toiletries inside are for everyone to use. After taking a bath, your whole body will be fragrant. Do you think they can resist? I understand what Wu means, that is, once there are many people, they will smell good. Yu Ying happily shook her pink foxtail, and those who haven't bathed and smelly will feel embarrassed, which will also lead them to take a bath in public baths. It can be said that the toiletries inside are free, which will definitely attract everyone. Subai put down the drawing with satisfaction. 3 or 2 friends go to the public bath to take a bath together, and they can also chat together, which is also a kind of relaxation. If you want to change everyone's concept of not taking a shower, you have to start from this point. It is obviously more difficult for a person to stay in one place and take a shower. But if you can go with a group of friends, take a shower. This matter is not so boring anymore. What's more, after you wash away the dirt, everyone will not shy away from it. Now there are these 2 situations in the Yanlong tribe. Those few people who have a bath she would show disgust at those who didn't take a shower. Sometimes she would even curse, because when passing by or getting along with each other, the sour feeling was too unbearable. Wu is really smart, but where should this public bath be built? Yu Ying looked left and right. The content on the drawing was a bit hard to understand. Just build it in the middle of the tribe, and the area should be large and the momentum should be huge. Subai thought seriously for a moment. When the time comes, more and more people will go to the bathhouse, and this is also a big business. He doesn't think it's too cheap to take a bath for only 2 contribution points. He still knows the principle of adding up a little makes a lot. After all, it is a public bathhouse. If you charge too much, no one will go. Small profits but quick turnover is better. Can work. Understand, I will show the drawings to Sister Alan later. She knows more about this aspect. Yu Ying helplessly lowered her pink foxtail. She couldn't help with this matter. Well, then I'll leave this matter to you. Subai scratched the tip of the other person's nose and said, ask him to gather a good manpower and build it according to the content on the drawing. Wu, there is another question I don't understand. Yu Ying took the drawing with both hands. Tell me. Subai folded his hands together. You just said that the bathing water in public baths is hot. Do we have to boil the water in buckets before pouring it in? Yu Ying blinked her big pink eyes innocently, eager to get the answer. The water in every public bath or compartment will have a heating device underneath. Just add firewood to it regularly. Sudbai blinked his black eyes. Of course most of them put some charcoal in it, so as to ensure the temperature of the hot water. Because the tribe is building a steam engine, the steam engine has not yet been completely made. So the public baths are in the form of charcoal, and there will be a place to store charcoal under each bathing pool. I see, it's just like how we made tea last winter, right? Yu Ying nodded understandingly. Last year in Yong'an building, in winter, they would bring a small stove. What was put in it was not burning firewood. Instead, it was some red-hot charcoal, and a small porcelain teapot was placed on it. Make sure the water in the teapot is always hot. This is why Sudbai was able to drink hot tea last year. Of course, you can also boil hot water directly on the fire pit. But this is more troublesome. Every time you want to drink hot water, you have to boil it to heat it up. But having charcoal is much more convenient. Just put the teapot on it and you can ensure that the water is always hot. This is the truth. Sudbai smiled heartily. It's just that the rainy season is coming soon, Wu, so I'm afraid the public bathhouse won't be built before the rainy season arrives, Yu Ying said regretfully. It doesn't matter, just prepare it first and start construction as soon as the rainy season ends, Sudbai said lightly. Understood. Yu Ying smiled slightly. Please update for support and customization.